Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Good morning. Today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales. All right. So what's our great subject for today? Our great subject for today is working in sales and working on commission. What in the world? What is commission and how does it work? I'm going to tell you a secret, guys. Commission can be one of your best friends or it can be one of your worst nightmares, okay? I've been in sales since the 80s, so I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And if you're a salesperson, or if you're wanting to be a salesperson, maybe you need to know a little bit how commission works. Well, first off, commission is a really cool way to make a tremendous amount of money. Now, you can generally get a salary, an hourly rate. A lot of people do. They work their 9 to 5 or their weekends or whatever they have to work, and they get a set amount of money. That set amount of money ain't too bad for some folks who don't want to live outside the box, who might want to, worry about, hey, I ain't got to worry about it. I get a paycheck. Now, the reason why I know so much about commission is because, back in the 80s, I had run into this young guy, and he says to me, how much money do you make? We were at this big old giant swimming pool called Sulphur Springs in Tampa, Florida, and I said, well, I work 3 jobs. He said, 3 jobs? Oh my gosh, man, you must be making a tremendous amount of money. I really wasn't. I was working in the kitchen, I was cutting grass, and I was also at the same daggone time doing electrical work and going to school at the same time. And I was poor. I don't mean poor, I was broke. And in this regard, this guy says, well, hey, man, I work on commission. I said, commission? What do you mean? Well, he said, come over to my house. I'll show you what I do. And he took me over to his house. He says he goes door to door and business to business and markets the newspaper services and all the things that are involved with it. And I was like, what? And he says, let me show you my paychecks. And I looked around. I saw that dude had a bunch of awards all over everywhere, and he had all these certifications and certificates, and I was like, dang, I ain't got none of those since in high school. And he says, well, here's one of my paychecks. It was a 2-week paycheck, and he had over $2,000, and I said, what are you doing? And he told me what he did, and he broke it down for me. He said, I work on commission. All I do is go with a bunch of young people. We go knock on doors at the evening time, and I work part-time. I said, you work part-time? He said, well, how many hours a week do you work? I said, I don't know. I'm still working. Oh, crap. I had a day off for one time, for at least for once right then. And he showed me his paychecks, and I was just befuddled. I said, man, how in the world did you do it? And he says, well, this is what you do. You talk to people, you ask them questions, and then you ask for the order. And I'm like, what? And I said, well, I'd like to try that. He says, well, let me call the boss. The boss said, okay. And that next Monday morning, I started with these people. I quit my 3 jobs, and I went on this thing called straight commission. I'm going to tell you what straight commission means. You got to work. That means you got to get out there and do the do. That means you got to knock on doors. You got to pick up that heavy phone. You got to talk to people because, see, it's like this. More the risk, more the pay. And I'm going to tell you what, I was hungry. I was so hungry. And I started knocking on doors, and it was like they gave me a little bit of training, and I watched the people do the job. And I was like, well, damn, this ain't too bad, because I had one of them personality pluses, and I had some people I worked for that were kind of quiet and timid. And then I learned how to use this thing called having a selling conversation. I started talking to people, and they started buying stuff from me, and I started making big old fat paychecks. Okay, but remember this one thing, you work on straight commission. And so if you're working for a company, you got to be real careful, because if you're working on straight commission, you might have to pay your own taxes. Did you hear what I said? I didn't say Texas, I said taxes. And if you got to pay your own taxes, you need to go ahead and put money away for a rainy day, because I was making money hand over fist, and it was like, golly, I'm driving a nice car, I'm living in a nice apartment, it had nice furniture and everything. And then my mama said to me one day, she said about after 3 years, hey man, you paid your taxes? I said, taxes? I don't know nobody in Texas. She said taxes, and I went and found out, holy cow, I worked for myself and I had a lot of debt. And it was literally thousands and thousands of dollars. And it took me quite a while to pay that crap off. I'm not trying to say commission is a bad thing, but you have to look at the big picture. If you're making money, remember, they're not taking out the taxes. Okay, so here's the thing. You got to go ahead and start putting that away. Also, if you're working for a company and you're not getting a W-2, again, you're going to have to pay the insurance, the health insurance. You're going to have to pay your own way. It comes out of your pocket and not someone else's pocket. A lot of times when people work just a regular salary, they get those extra things and they get a paycheck and it comes right out and they think, oh, I'm doing real good. But see, here's the thing. Commission, I've worked on commission, straight commission, and I've worked with companies who gave me some money, a little bit, just to make it through. A lot of times what companies will do is they'll give you a job in sales, and they'll get you through a training phase, a training period. That'll be anywhere from 2 to 6 to 8 weeks. That they'll give you a little bit of money, but during that time, you better be, go ahead, you better be working your butt off. You better start studying. You better get a foundation in that company, learn every single thing you can about that product, and you got to be out there and you got to start knocking on them doors, picking up that heavy phone and going out to see these folks, because I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing worse than not having no money, honey. And when you work on commission, you really do have to work hard. You have to work smart, and you have to make sure that when you're out there doing the do, you remember, I work on straight commission, or I work on commission. Like I said, I worked in the furniture business, and a couple of different companies that I work for, they give you like minimum wage. You know, wasn't a lot, but daggone, it'll get your feet wet, and remember, it'll help you. But see, here's the thing. If you're working in a business like furniture sales, there's probably going to be limited amount of monies that you can make. Now, if you're out there working on your own, a lot of times you can make a whole lot more money. And now remember this one thing, when you're working on commission, there are better and best jobs. What does that mean? That means, hey, some jobs, they require you to get what they call a certification, a license, and those jobs generally pay a whole lot more. Just like, say, for instance, life insurance, you get a 214, 215, 220, and all that. They give you the capability to make a lot more money. And I'm going to tell you what, if you don't have none, well, you can still do a lot of good, great sales jobs, like selling, I would probably say selling, like, say, for instance, pest control. Pest control these days, they want you to have some kind of certification, but there's a lot of jobs where you don't need to have any certification, just some basic foundation, some basic knowledge on how to close a sale and have a conversation with the customer about particular products. You know, our whole total subject today is talking about how's commission work. It works pretty good, but a lot of times people do not stick and stay, and they jump wagon before the miracle happens. What does a miracle mean? That means you're starting to learn how to sell something. You're getting your rhythm. You're starting to do what they call this numbers thing, where the more people you see, the more people that you tell about your product, the more opportunity you're going to have to close and sell customers. It works if you work it, but you got to live it. And I've worked on commission pretty much my whole life because I really enjoy it. Because I've been broke. I've had jobs where I was making money, but it was like I never could catch up. And every year I'd be wanting to get a bonus or some crap, and you may be in the same boat. But they may say, well, you done pretty good, but, your evaluation says you're not where you need to be. So we ain't going to give you no more money, honey. You're going to have to try it for another year. You ever been there? Oh, crap. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. Sorry about the road system over here. This is on Normandy. It's a bump-diddy-bump-diddy-bump. This is a great backwoods road. And like I said, get back on track here. Selling is important, and we matter. And without salespeople, we wouldn't be able to sell. If everybody worked on commission, you'd probably see a lot of people with a lot better attitudes, because they'd be like, damn, I got to sell something. I better be real nice, because if you look around this world, not everybody's real nice. And if you're out there selling, remember, commission, you work for yourself. Don't let nobody tell you don't. I don't care if you work for a great company. You really work for yourself. And your company's going to get their piece. They're going to get that little bit of money. If you become a manager, you'll be able to make a percentage based off the the stuff that the people sell for you and work with you in this regard. Maybe you're wanting to go ahead and remember that selling, it's a way to influence other people to buy stuff, but always be above board, guys. You don't want some sales to come back to you. It's like insurance, life insurance. A lot of times what happens in life insurance, you got up to a year, and those customers can say, well, I cancel and I changed my mind. Well, guess what? That money that you put out there, oh my gosh, that you just got, that big old paycheck, you got to pay it all back. And I'm going to tell you what, when you work on commission, that happens. People might buy a blouse from you. You may be working in retail and they return something. So remember, if people return furniture or whatever, that comes right off of your bottom line. And I'm going to tell you what, it sucks. So remember that. So always sell it right. Make sure you listen to what the customer says, and then make sure that you take down the information. Also, here's a good thing. I always like referrals. I love to talk to customers who've already bought from me. The reason being is because, see, they can give me this thing, like I just said, called referrals, and I get to make more commission. And remember, a person who's bought from you is more inclined to probably buy more from you and your company. It's all about the way you talk to people. It's the way you treat people. Send out those thank you cards. Let people know they're important. Send them texts. Text once in a while. Tell them, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to check in. Remember, when you work on commission, you're working for yourself. So you got to figure out, well, how many people do I need to talk to make how much money? You got to set goals. You got to know exactly what you're wanting to do. You have to have a direction, a weekly goal, a daily goal, because I'm going to tell you what, the companies that you work for, they will expect you to sell something, okay? Now, they'll give you a little bit of leeway, and if you're having a struggling problem, if you need help because you work on commission, ask for management's assistance. Ask them. Don't be afraid. I've been there. I've been afraid to ask for help, and you know what? I didn't do as good as I should, but once I got some help, it was great. Now, when you're working on commission, remember, guys, you got to pay your own way. You got to get your own health insurance. And see, when you're young, you probably say, well, that's not a big deal. Okay, but when you get a little bit older, you got to make sure you have that. And if you're getting into sales, guys, don't be afraid to work on commission, but plan to put money away so that way you don't spend it all. Because when I was younger, I was making money hand over fist, and I wasn't too bright. I started spending that money on everything but paying my bills. I paid them all the time, and I was paying real good. I had a lot of nice stuff, but those damn taxes got me, and I'll tell you what, I had to restart over and pay a whole bunch of interest on that stuff. So if you're looking to get into sales, remember, commission is a big way to make money. It's a huge way because more the risk, more the opportunity, more the pay. A lot of people, they like that. And if you like to talk to people, if you like to have conversations with people, if you like to look outside the box, look at retail. That's a good foundation, a good place to start when you get into sales, because you're getting a little bit of maybe hourly, but you're also learning the basics, the fundamentals, and the selling techniques on how to close sales. And you got to reach outside the box. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. So check out my videos. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because I've got a lot. I've got over almost 600, 700 videos on everything there is to know about selling. Okay, and there's a lot to know about selling. And selling is a great opportunity, because you know what? If you work on commission, that means you get to make as much money as you work your ass off for, or you want. Because see, a lot of, like I said, there are some retail jobs that you're limited based on people coming in and buying. There's all kinds of stuff, like my son, he sells stuff on the computer now. I'll tell you what, he's making money, honey. It's like, wow, that's a great idea. And I work in real estate. I sell life insurance and mortgages. I help people in all different facets when it comes to buying and selling. I work commission. I like commission because I know that I can make as much money as I want, and I don't have to worry about them saying, well, you're doing a good job. Because what happens is when you're selling, you get bonuses, you get opportunities to make more sales, and you get to depend on yourself. Some people, they have to have a boss. They can't work independent. They got to have somebody standing over them saying, you got to work, do this, do that. And a lot of times when they have that scenario, they'll do the bare minimum. They'll only do what they have to. But if you're a salesperson and you do the mediocre part, the bare minimum, you ain't gonna make no money. You ain't gonna make no money. So you gotta get out there and bust your ass. But do it smart, do it right, and just remember, never take advantage of people. You never want to lose your soul because of some money, honey. And never snake your partners. There's some people out there, they're snake. They'll take advantage of other people. Don't do it. And you can ask the question, what is snake? Well, ask the people you work for. And listen, guys, we just had a great conversation about what is commission. How do you make money from it? You make pretty good money, okay, guys? When people are making the average basic amount of money, people that are in sales make the world go around. We make more money generally than most people who even have licenses. Even doctors and lawyers, we can make more money than any other business. You just got to get yourself acclimated, get you some certifications, get you some licenses, and learn your products and get good management to help walk you through, and then stick and stay. It don't happen in one day, okay? And my name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a great conversation about, what did we talk about? Commission, how it works, okay, and why it pays. It really does. All right.